Welcome to Connected with Lori. I am your host, Lori Caruso. I have a legend in the studio today, and I am so excited. The maker of Ice Pick Vodka, Mr. Ron Vars. Hi, Ron.
Hey, Lori, how are you going?
I am fantastic. It's so great to have you in the studio, I have to say. I know that you know this story, but I've got to share it again. How I ended up getting you in the seat, which is a pretty cool story.
You bought me beers?
I didn't buy you beers, thank goodness. But I realized Ice Pick Vodka made right here in North Hampton, New Hampshire. Pretty exciting.
I think so.
Yeah, you think so?
Yeah, it's pretty neat what we've been able to do.
Yeah, for sure. So knowing Northampton, that you're here, not knowing it was you, and I started asking around, and how I got your name from my hair salon while I was sitting there in the chair, and the person next to me getting his haircut says, I know Ron, or I know Ice Pick, I can get you taken care of. So then I'm back and forth with your distributor, Carrie, trying to get on the calendar, so to speak, because you're so busy. And all I kept saying was, Ron, the maker, he's the guy. And I'm like, God, I cannot wait to meet this Ron.
I don't pay him enough. Oh, wait, if you're watching, Carrie, yes, I do.
Yes. So here I get the whole production crew there out on the location to check things out from your bottling and, everything that you have going on. I get out of the car and, oh my gosh, it's Ron Vars, the person I've known and worked with forever back in the 90s when we were at U.S. Cellular.
It's only been 25 years.
It's only been 25 years.
It's amazing you could still recognize me.
Right? Incredible. You're doing a good job. You
Thanks.
are. Yes.
Clean living.
Clean living with vodka.
Yeah.
Is that what it is?
I think that's what it is.
So, Ron, tell me, seriously, working in the industry, telecom, back in the day, the 90s, selling phones for U.S. Cellular, how on earth did you make it into making vodka, distilling vodka? What happened? Where'd you go?
Long and circuitous route, but it was really funny. It was like it had a farm up in the North Country, and my son and I would go up maple sugaring in the springtime, and it was far enough up that being busy and all, we couldn't get up there all the time to get the stuff into the pans and actually evaporate it. And after a few years, it would, we kept kicking the barrels over as they'd ferment. And at one point, I was like, wait a second, that's sugar. What could we possibly do with that? And so hypothetically, we may have done some experimentation and with distilling it to see what would happen, and it was pretty good. But at the time, I was married, mortgages, children, and put it in the back of my head, and this was always just something on the side. And then about a number of years later, my partner Heather was working in the oncology department at the hospital, and we're sitting on a beach down in Vieques, and she looked at me and she goes, I hate my job. And I went, I got a crazy idea. So we drank some more rum, thought about it, and came back, put it on paper, and neither one of us having gone to the Math is Hard school, we said, well, this works. So she quit her job, took the next year, and traveled around to other distilleries to see how they were doing and what they did, and came back here, and we found a space here in Northampton, and said, well, let's just do this. So we both jumped into it, feet first, and that's kind of how it all started.
Wow, the initial factor. And that distillery is...
It's the Sea Hag Distillery.
Sea Hag. I've heard that name too.
2016 Distillery of the Year.
Really?
Yeah.
An award?
An award.
That is so cool.
Yeah, we do a lot of really neat stuff.
So tell me about that. I mean, I had a chance to go to the location, and, unfortunately, it wasn't working quite the way we wanted it to because you're off or you're cleaning on Fridays, I guess, right?
That is correct.
So I'm going to be back there. Don't you worry. I want to check it out because I think it's so cool. But tell me a little bit about your process.
Well, it depends on what we do a couple of different things. We distill products. We've got our own house brand. We have a really cool old pot still that was, what we tried to do when we opened up was recreate what rum tasted like back in the 18th century when rum basically ruled America. It was about 70% of the economy back in the mid 1700s. Well, actually, legitimate distilleries and importations, but about 70% of the economy back in around 1750 revolved around rum. It was crazy. So we thought that'd be a great idea. And then, and as we learned more about the business, and we had to stay in business. Rum is sort of, it's kind of this. It just doesn't really. It has never really had the following that other spirits have, and I think it's beginning to change these days. But it's so we started doing some other things, and we've got a friend, and this is where the vodka came in. I said, we should be making other people's stuff as well, keep things busy, and that's where Ice Pick comes in.
So, and I also saw when I was there, and maybe I shouldn't have seen some of the production behind the scenes, but you're going to come out with some new and exciting products, huh?
Oh my goodness. We just finished bottling some absinthe, which is,
whoa.
Yeah, it's super cool. And what makes it even cooler is that the absinthe was actually, the base liquor comes from beer from the breweries. It was just overage, or they couldn't use it. So we've taken that in and distilled their beer as the base liquor and then flavored it up. I've got Butch Heilshorn was one of the guys that started Earth Eagle. He's in there working the still with his, and that's his product. It's pretty neat.
Well, just the fact that you can be so creative, it's pretty cool. So, Ron, we're going to take a short break, and we'll be right back after these messages.
Sounds good.
Welcome back to Connected with Lori. I have Ron Vars, the maker of Ice Pick Vodka, in the studio. Hello again.
Hey, Lori. And let's not forget about our Rocky Peak Hard Cinnamon. That's pretty happy stuff, too.
Oh, yeah. We were just talking about all the different flavors that you are kind of making. With COVID, though, a lot of changes. I mean, everybody kind of had to mix it up. And, here you're distilling and you're doing all of this. And, you had to change the way you were distributing to not go to restaurants anymore. You're now having to be locked into, tied to supermarkets or liquor stores or whatever the case is. How has that changed?
St. Patrick's Day was just a watershed event. I mean, we lost, when they shut the bars and the restaurants down, overall we lost about 50%, a little bit more of our total sales. And it was like, what do we do now? And then that's a trickle down, because we've got all the salespeople and all the merchandisers and the people that, are out in the field, they no longer have jobs.
Wow.
So in a week and a half, we turned everything around and started making hand sanitizer.
Wow.
And what was really good too is we've always had a really good relationship with the university, and we've had a lot of interns over the years. And the call went out, and we ended up, essentially, we hired the entire senior chemical engineering department at UNH was started to work for us.
Wow, that's really cool.
Yeah, they were all quarantined anyways, so we felt pretty safe, and we took our precautions. But over the course of the next really about 10, 12 weeks, we pushed out over 50,000 gallons of hand sanitizer into the marketplace. How
did you change it up? I mean, how do you make hand sanitizer, if I can say it?
There's some formulas online, and effectively what we were precluded initially because it's considered an over-the-counter drug, but they removed some of the regulations that allowed the distilleries to do it, and effectively what we did is we did to World Health Organization standard, but you start with 190 proof denatured alcohol, hydrogen peroxide, and glycerin. And you just have to get it in the right formulation. But fortunately for us, we had 22 chemical engineers working for us, and it became super easy, and we had a phenomenal run. And like I say, we put out close to 50,000 gallons of sanitizer.
Did you stop then production when you were making the sanitizer did you shut down one?
Well, there was no production to be had. There was just no business.
Wow.
The inventory levels were such that, so we were essentially shut down. But just us doing that, we put all the college kids to work. We put our salespeople back to work. We put the distribution guys back to work. And so, that money flowed, and it was it made everybody feel pretty good. I still feel good about that.
Yeah, you should. I mean, that's pretty impressive. And the fact that you could make it happen, and the fact also that you got involved with the school. I think that is really cool that you thought to reach out to UNH and say, hey, let's help each other.
Yeah, it worked out really well for everybody. And now, we've got 5 of them that have stayed with us, and it's enabled us to take things to the next level. It's been good in that regard.
So how many people are you employing right now?
We've got 7 people full time at the distillery, and then we've got our guys through our brokerage house, which is called Stone Fence Beverage. There's another, it's a separate business unit, but there's about 12 guys working for them, and they're out merchandising, and you'll see us out in the field all the time.
Wow, that's pretty cool for this local area. So you must be growing too. I mean, my goodness, I see Ice Pick vodka everywhere now. It seems like that's what you see, and it's taken over the competition.
We're doing real well.
Yeah.
I think we're probably in the top 100 right now in New Hampshire, and I'm pretty confident that no New Hampshire brand's ever broken the top 200. And I think the last numbers that I had seen were probably the largest non-national brand in New England. It's quite a, but it's, what it is. It's just good hard work. There's a lot of effort that went in. We made a superior product, but you also have to sell it. And we've got some real talent. Carrie's just amazing.
Carrie is amazing.
Another Northampton resident. Shout out, Carrie.
Shout out to Carrie. Well, that's awesome. Well, we're going to take another short break, and we'll be right back after these messages. Welcome back. We have Ron Vars, Ice Pick Vodka. So Ron, tell me what you're doing different from the competition, because you are changing the way things are out there. Usually you go in and you hear, Tito's and soda or whatever the case is. But now I'm hearing pick and soda. It's like happening.
It is happening. We're local. We've shortened the supply chains. Our product is, I truly feel it's a superior product to almost everything that's on the marketplace, and it's certainly at the right price point. And spend a lot of energy and time making sure that those things matched each other.
Yeah, and I'm also finding too, and from talking to Carrie, you guys are in a lot of the restaurants in the Seacoast.
I think the last check we were in 300 and something different restaurants and on-premise bars and so forth. Yeah.
Very impressive. And as a matter of fact, I don't know if you know where your reach goes in the country, but I can tell you, this is pretty exciting. I was talking to a colleague of mine in St. Louis, and I mentioned I was going to have you on the show. He's like, Ice Pick vodka. I love Ice Pick. I'm like, how the heck do you know about Ice Pick? He goes, we all drink Ice Pick out in St. Louis.
St. Louis.
St. Louis.
They don't have distribution outside of, Massachusetts.
Okay, so I'm not sure what.
That's awesome to hear.
I was going to say, I don't know if he's like getting it online. I don't know what's happening, but he knew all about it. And he said, actually, it was one of the best that he's had.
That's great to hear.
Yeah.
That's great to hear.
So is there a process in place that you're doing differently? I mean, I did have a chance to catch you up and see what you were doing a little bit, and it looked pretty dynamic.
It is pretty neat. We, without going into the, the nitty gritty, but we spend, your bottle of liquor is about 60% water. And we spend a tremendous amount of time and energy on making sure that what we've got for our water is just absolutely spectacular. And I think that's really the difference maker. So
technology based. It's pretty cool because, I mean, there's a lot going into the process, so to speak, from a technology standpoint.
Oh, our water
system's
amazing. And I joke around, it's better living through chemistry, but that's really effectively what you're looking at is the chemistry of the water and what is it that goes into the bottle, and it's a big thing for us.
Yeah, for sure. So, what's the future hold for you? Where are you going? Are you gonna expand? What's your plan?
Of course, we're going to expand it. Grow or die, right?
Right.
But we've got enough. We have enough brands that are in-house that are ready to launch, and we're just working on finishing off the financial part so that we can get into a larger facility.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, we've
Keeping
got,
it close here, Seacoast still, right?
Yeah, I don't want to commute anymore. This is why I'm here. Like this is it. Like you move around enough in your life, and you're like, this is a nice area. Like, maybe we should just be here. It's great.
Well, you're definitely feeding this community of sorts with, obviously jobs. You're bringing a whole brand to this marketplace. Like I said, I was so excited to hear when I found out Ice Pick was actually distilled in Northampton. It's very cool stuff for sure.
Yeah, it's a neat production facility, and we're looking forward to continuing that in this area.
Well, very good, Ron. Ron Vars, Ice Pick Vodka.
Thanks,
are
Laurie.
So excited to have you on this show. Catch us next time on Connected with Lori. Ron, thank you so much for being in the studio, joining me here today. We really appreciate what you are doing in this community. Thanks for being here.
Oh, you're welcome.
And thanks to the listeners out there. We appreciate you too. Catch us next time on Connected with Lori.